village on the edge of a vast forest. There lived a dog named Max. Max was beloved by everyone for his playful nature, but he had one big flaw. He was incredibly greedy. No matter how much food he had, he always wanted more. One bright morning, Max set out on his daily walk through the village. As he passed the butcher's shop, he spotted a large, juicy bone lying on the ground. His eyes gleamed with excitement, and without a second thought, Max snatched it up. "This is all mine," he thought, his tail wagging furiously. Eager to enjoy his newfound treasure, Max ran to a quiet spot by the river, hoping to eat his bone in peace. As he trotted over the wooden bridge that crossed the water, Max happened to glance down. There, in the water, was what he believed to be another dog, holding a bone that seemed even bigger and juicier than his own. Greedy as ever, Max thought, "I must have that bone too." Without realizing that he was looking at his own reflection, Max growled and barked at the other dog. In doing so, he opened his mouth, and the bone he had been holding slipped out and tumbled into the river with a splash. Max watched in dismay as the bone sank beneath the water and disappeared from sight. His greed had cost him the very thing he wanted most. With his head hung low, Max trudged back home, empty-mouthed and disappointed. That evening, Max sat quietly by the fireplace, thinking about what had happened. He realized that in his greed, he had lost something valuable. From that day on, Max changed his ways. He no longer hoarded food, and he learned to share with the other animals in the village. Surprisingly, sharing brought him more joy than greed ever had. His heart felt fuller, and he became happier than he'd ever been. The lesson Max learned stayed with him for the rest of his days. Being content with what you have is far better than losing it all to greed. Moral: greed often leads to loss. Be happy with what you have.